What is up, folks? Is I will once again with exposing the IWC. And today we're talking about Warner Brothers, Discovery, and all this talk online amongst the IWC about a potential sale and how bad that would be for AEW and should they be worried about their rating and stuff like that. But nobody's really diving in deep and letting folks know what's going on, really. That's a point of this stream. By the end of this stream, you will know what's going on, why it's happening, and why it's going to affect AEW. And hopefully you enjoy it. Do me a favor, hit like and subscribe. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Did I hear that Mario Gold's tickets are selling well? I didn't hear that, but that doesn't surprise me. Warner Brothers to Paramount, probably, honestly. But let's actually break it down. Go all the way back to the start, okay? It all starts with a man by the name of David Zaslav. Know this guy? Are you familiar with him? David Zaslav is the CEO of Warner Brothers Discovery. He came over from Discovery when they did the merger, when Warner Brothers and Discovery merged. And his entire existence since coming aboard this merger, his entire goal has been to get Warner Brothers Discovery ready for a sale. That's been his entire focus, his entire purpose. He's been getting the books in line. He's been trying to elevate the value of the company so it can be sold. That's what he's been trying to do this entire time. It's been a good year for Warner Brothers. In theaters, they've done well theatrically. They've done the most. I think they have the most money right now, revenue-wise. They even beat out Disney. Not for long, though, because Disney has Avatar coming up at the end of the year. But right now, they're doing pretty good when it comes to box office sales. And the value of the company is up. It's like, you know what? It's time to sell. So they're in the process of splitting the company into two, by the way. Splitting it into two, by that I mean they're splitting in the fictional IP and getting that away from the channels, right? So you have the Warner Brothers Studios, HBO Max, DC Studios, all that stuff. Basically everything we like, Game of Thrones, DC, Superman, Batman, Harry Potter, streaming service, all the IP, the valuable shit, right? That'll be in Warner Brothers. And the other company, the second one will be Discovery Global. That will be your channels like CNN, TBS, TNT, Food Network, TNT Sports. Basically everything that's not the fictional IP that's actually very valuable. Now, notice I said the word TBS, right? So TBS would be in Discovery Global. That is the home of AEW. That's what they've been trying to do. They want to sell. They're trying to make it more appealing to buyers by splitting the company into two, because they know, honestly, Netflix, Apple, Amazon, these big media companies only really want the IP, the intellectual property, the stuff that folks want to watch. Game of Thrones, Spider-Man. I said Spider-Man, my bad. That's Marvel. Batman, Superman, stuff like that, right? All the premium HBO channels, shows, that's what they want, right? That's what they want to buy. Trying to split it to make it more appealing to buyers. In comes David Ellison. Now, David Ellison, this man was running Skydance. He is the son of Larry Ellison, the second or number one richest man in the world, depending on who you ask, depending on the day. They are currently looking to buy assets. David Ellison was running Skydance. Larry Ellison bought Paramount for his son, okay, because his son is very much passionate about Hollywood. He wants to modernize Hollywood and he wants to have an influence. So he said, okay, son, I'll buy you Paramount. They have a ridiculous amount of money, stupid amount of money. But he bought Paramount. It became Paramount Skydance. He did work with Tom Cruise with Mission Impossible shit, but he wanted to have an actual studio. a major studio like Paramount. They bought it very easily. And now, once they bought Paramount, they're looking to buy some more shit because it's all about acquiring assets because they want you watching their shit. So the more stuff that they have that you want to watch, Game of Thrones, all these premium HBO channels, Euphoria, all this shit, right? More shit that they have that you want to watch, they can get you watching their product. So they want these valuable assets. But they're going after Warner Brothers now, right? That's what they want. And they have a stupid amount of money to get the job done. Because Larry Ellison is backing the entire thing. Actually, David Ellison and Tony Khan get along, by the way, because they're both Nepo baby billionaires. So probably get along. But they're filthy rich. They got a ridiculous amount of money to spend. Now that they have the Paramount situation settled, they merged. Well, it wasn't a merger. They purchased Paramount with the help of Donald Trump. They're ready to make another splash, and they want Warner Brothers. Now, probably wondering, what the hell does this have to do with AEW? Well, here's the thing. What they really want, actually, is just the IP, right? They want the TV and film assets. They want the studio, right? They want the fictional medium that we like to watch. They don't really care that much about CNN, TNT, and the home of AEW, TBS. But the reason why I think they are going to be the ones to buy Warner Brothers outright is because they are currently the most aggressive. Why? Because they know that Warner Brothers Discovery is in the process of splitting the companies into two. And once that happens, you're going to get Netflix and Apple and Amazon more engaged and more interested because they don't want to have these linear legacy channels like HBO, CNN, TNT, and TBS. They don't want that shit. They just want what's in the right corner here. They want the studio. They want the streaming, they want that stuff. They want those assets. They don't care for these legacy channels, these dying breeds. Okay, when you talk about the key demo, the people from 18 to 40 years old, when they come home from work, it's like, you know what, I'm bored. I want to watch some TV. Let me put on TBS. Let me put on TNT. No, they put it on Netflix, HBO Max, Disney Plus. They put it on the streaming services. That is what's new. That is what is the new thing. They're not worried about these old legacy channels. It's a dying breed. It's a money loser. They don't want it. Okay, so what puts Paramount in the driver's seat, that they're willing to buy it all. They're willing to buy Warner Brothers Discovery, warts and all, the entire thing. Don't worry about splitting it. Just give it to us. We'll buy it from you. We'll give you $19 a share. That was the first bid. They turned that one down. How about $22 a bid? They turned that one down. How about 23.5? We'll give you 80% cash because we can roll like that. And we'll let you stay as co-CEO, David Zaslav. Said no again. Ultimately, they can keep saying no all they want. But David Zaslav and Warner Brothers, they're beholden to, the Warner Brothers executives, they are beholden to the shareholders. Okay, so eventually, these dudes are going to offer something they can't refuse, and ultimately they have to accept it because no matter what, the shareholders own Warner Brothers, so it doesn't matter who it is. Once they offer a amount of money you can't refuse, they must accept. So that's probably what this is headed. There's reports that they want $27 a share, which is ridiculous, or even pushing $30. Ultimately, I believe Paramount will get it done. Not only because they're filthy rich, not only because they are willing to buy it all, the entire thing, Warner Brothers Studios and Discovery Global, all these channels like TBS, TNT, CNN, Food Network, TBS, TNT Sports, they're willing to buy it all. And because of their relationship with Donald Trump. Because if you don't know, when making a large purchase like this, it has to push through, it needs to be pushed through. And Trump is willing to do that because Larry Ellison is in good standing with Donald Trump. That's why the Paramount deal went so quickly. When Skydance went to buy Paramount, usually those things could take 2 to 3 years. They pushed it through very quickly to only 1 year to push through because they promised Trump that they'd make CBS News more conservative, and Trump was all about trying to change the news outlets and make the news more fair to him, right? He'll say making it more fair, whatever, but he wants this news to be more conservative. They agreed, okay, we'll make CBS News more conservative. And they said, cool, great. You guys gonna make them more nicer than me? Awesome, push it right through. So, in closing, we'll wrap up this little section, right? Paramount wants it. They have the money. They're good with Trump, so Trump can push the deal through quicker. And they're willing to buy it all of it, not just a part of it. They'll buy it all. So what would this mean for Tony Khan in AEW, whose home is TBS? Well, let's think about this for a second. Tony Khan is running a wrestling promotion. Let's see, Larry Ellison. Well, how does David Ellison feel about it? That's the thing. David Ellison will be the CEO of all of it once it happens, and they probably will buy it. Once they buy Warner Brothers, he'll be CEO. The question is, how does David Ellison feel about wrestling or, combat sports, things like that? Well, we know one thing. He does like combat sports, right? He has a deal with UFC. Who is UFC under? What's the umbrella they're under? Oh, that's right. TKO. David Ellison, the Ellisons, and Paramount Skydance is already they're already in bed with TKO. A big, fat, lucrative deal with TKO for UFC. Uh-oh. Mean to tell me, in these boardroom meetings, when they're sitting down, talking to Dana White and Ari Emanuel and Nick Khan in these TKO meetings, they're not saying, oh, by the way, AEW, we don't fuck with them. Okay, we don't get around with AEW. Okay, so when the time comes, get them out of here. You think that's not happening? You think that TKO is gonna be okay with Paramount or Warner Brothers? Well, at this point, it'll be Warner Brothers, right? It'll be Warner Brothers, Paramount, Skydance. They won't name it that. It'll be something else. They may just call it Warner Brothers, whatever. You think they're gonna be happy with Paramount having a good old time with AEW? Hell no. I don't see it. If anything, David Ellison will want a relationship with WWE. He want to further the relationship with TKO. He's going to want WWE stuff on their programming. So look out for that. Once, I don't know what deal would it be, whether it be NXT or SmackDown, whatever. At some point, Paramount is going to want WWE. Okay, so you have TKO in bed with David Ellison. You think that's good for AEW? It's not. Okay, so let's think about this logically. Because AEW's deal is over in 2027. There's a chance that it can extend it a year. So there's an option for 2028, but the deal ends by 2027. Let's say the Paramount buys Warner Brothers today. Let's say it takes a year for the deal to go through. Probably not, right? Probably take longer than that. Let's say it takes a year. That means late 2026 is when they'll take over officially. And then AEW has 1 year left on the deal. 1 year left on a deal with David Ellison running the show and David Ellison having a relationship with TKO. Meaning tell me they're going to extend it a year? Meaning tell me they're going to continue to do business and piss off TKO? I don't think so. It's going to be over. Sorry to tell you the truth, the second that deal goes through, AEW's time on TBS will be coming to an end. I don't see them extending a deal. I don't see them making another deal, considering the relationship with TKO, considering how close they are with Nick Khan and Ari Emanuel and the Donald Trump ecosystem, as that's what I'll call it. I don't see it happening. So that's the fear. The fear is once Paramount buys Warner Brothers, it's only a matter of time for AEW is on the outs. You could say, oh, well, what about Netflix? Why can't Netflix buy Warner Brothers? Well, Netflix, for one, is not interested in these legacy channels. They're not interested in linear cable. They want assets for their streaming service. They want Game of Thrones on Netflix. They want DC on Netflix. They don't want these goddamn channels. They don't want HBO, CNN, TBS. These are dying mediums. They want to stack up their streaming service. They want to better their streaming service. They want to keep people home. Actually, the last thing people want, I say people, the last thing Hollywood wants, talking about the industry, directors, actors, they would hate for Netflix to buy Warner Brothers because Netflix is not about the theatrical experience. Netflix wants people to stay home and watch Netflix. They don't want people to go to the damn theater. They don't want people to go to the theater paying $30 a ticket, buying some popcorn, listening to some annoying kid making noise in the corner, to people stomping their feet, popcorn on the ground, sticky chairs. They don't want people going to the theater. They want people staying home. That's what they want. So yeah, the Hollywood industry is terrified of Netflix buying Warner Brothers. And AEW should too, because AEW is not a priority for them. They just want the fictional IP to put on their streaming service. They just want Warner Brothers Studios, DC Studios, stuff like that. Give me Harry Potter. Give me Batman. Give me Superman. Give me Game of Thrones. Give me Mayors of Easttown. Give me Euphoria. Give me all these popular HBO shows so I can put it on Netflix. That's what they want. So they're not interested in these channels. So even if Netflix buys Warner Brothers, all of it, AEW's time on TBS will be coming to an end because I don't think Netflix, they'll probably try to sell it. They'll probably try to sell the channels, but nobody wants to buy these channels. So they'll just let it die out and they'll just TBS and TNT be over and that'll be that. So whether it's Paramount, they're in trouble. Netflix, they're in real trouble. And like, what's their best bet? What's their best bet? Comcast? There were rumors about Comcast being interested. Oh, by the way, before we leave Netflix, they have a deal with the WWE for Raw. I can promise you in that contract, it says you cannot have another wrestling promotion on your streaming service, okay? So no matter how you slice it, they're fucked if it's Netflix, right? Let's move over to Comcast. Well, can Comcast come up and sign and buy Warner Brothers? Well, first of all, Donald Trump hates the CEO of Comcast. So when it comes to pushing the deal through, they're going to be in some trouble. Okay, so that's not a route I would go. It's not happening. I seriously doubt it. Even if they did, Comcast is NBC. NBC has a deal with WWE. I can promise you there will be no AW on NBC pro channels as long as SmackDown is there. So that's a no-go. And again, Trump hates the CEO of NBC, so it'll be hell to push that deal through. The cleanest move is Paramount. They like Trump. Trump likes them, right? They have the money, a stupid amount of money, and they're willing to buy it all. That's why they're the front runners. That's why they put in 3 bids already. If you're stupid rich, if you're stupid rich, you can get what you want to get ultimately. Oh, but what about Apple? Same situation. Apple is interested in the IP, the intellectual property. They don't care about these linear channels. They don't care about CNN. They don't care about HBO channel. They want what goes on HBO. They want the content that's on HBO, not the actual channel. Oh, what about Amazon? Same situation. But no matter how you slice it, once this deal goes through, I do believe Paramount will buy them. Tony Khan is going to be in some trouble. I just don't see it. I mean, I don't know what route they're going to go. Can't go CW. I think the WWE done a fantastic job branching out to multiple places. Comcast, CW, even Fox. They could go to Fox. They could try to go to Fox, but the WWE has a relationship with Fox with Tubi, because Fox owns Tubi. And even then, Fox moved away from WWE. You think they're going to be interested in another wrestling promotion? I don't think so. It could be FS1 maybe, but how many people have FS1? I don't love Fox as an option. I think WWE and Fox had their thing. I think Fox is done with pro wrestling. I don't see an avenue for them there. Warner Brothers is really the best place for them. And now that it's being sold, and by the way, it will be sold, that's going to happen without a shadow of a doubt. There's no, oh, they might not sell. Warner Brothers are selling. It's going to be sold. Think otherwise, you're just lost at this point. It's going to be sold. Once you come out and say, hey, we're looking at potential buyers for our shareholders, it's a wrap. You're going to be sold. So, I don't see the route for AEW here. Maybe they end up on Amazon, but then again, that's not an actual channel. That's streaming. Maybe they can make a deal with Apple. Then again, that's streaming. You have to buy Apple to get the Apple streaming service. No matter how you slice it, it's going to be rough TV-wise for AEW, especially because the ratings aren't great. The ratings are simply not great. What do you guys think? Paramount has good content, especially with the stuff with Sonic the Hedgehog. Imagine an animated Sonic and DC crossover. I can imagine that. I can't imagine that. That'd be funny. Sonic and DC. Flash racing Sonic. I want Netflix to buy Warner Brothers just for the outrageousness. If they do, they'd be buying the IP. They'd be buying the studios, the studio and streaming, which would leave AEW fucked. Netflix just want the content. They just want the content. They want your Game of Thrones. They want your DC, your stuff like that. They want that on Netflix. That's it. They're not interested in those cable channels, which leaves AEW fucked. They don't want TBS. They don't want TNT. They don't want CNN. They don't want Food Network. They just want those valuable IP brands. So yeah, Netflix can buy Warner Brothers, but when it comes to AEW, they're fucked. Paramount is willing to buy the whole thing. Yep, but Warner Brothers might wait to split. They could do that. They could wait. The problem is it'll take longer, number one. Two, the Paramount is more aggressive right now. They're more aggressive right now. And if they made a fourth bid, $27 a share, or even $30, which is ridiculous, they're not going to be able to tell their shareholders, oh, we're waiting, shareholders. We're going to wait to split it. Because again, Apple, Netflix, Amazon, they'd only be interested in a part of Warner Brothers. The intellectual IP, the brands. That's also all they want. They don't want these linear legacy channels. Paramount is willing to buy it all. I don't know who you think is going to buy those channels. Like those, I don't see how they're going to sell that. Like who wants that shit? Maybe they can find some sucker, but I don't see. They could try. They could split the company, sell off one thing, and see how far it can go. But I feel like ultimately Paramount is going to get this thing. They're just waiting and waiting and waiting. Are we going to split it up and wait and see if we can have a bidding war for the studios? I don't see it, man. It's possible, but it's a gamble. It could be a waste of time for them because ultimately they're saying that even if they split it, the offer that Paramount's giving them now is way higher than even a smart person would pay. They're way overvalued right now. They're like almost triple the value of it right now. He's heading towards triple. So I don't see how they could postpone it any longer. I think Warner Brothers is just going to split the company and sell it off to multiple people. That's possible. They can try that. I still think sure, it's possible. But ultimately, who's going to buy Discovery Global? Who's going to buy that? Who's going to buy it? They can create a bidding war for the studio shit, the TV IP and the film IP, but nobody's going to buy CNN, TNT, and TBS for any big amount of money. They can try, but I just think that's all like down the road. Like the split is supposed to be official next year. They're being aggressive now. Will they be able to turn down a $27, $26 a share bid this year? I don't think so. At some point, it's going to be too much. And again, Trump is good with the Ellisons. It's going to be pushed through much quicker. To delay it and try to split it into two is harder and more difficult to sell it in two parts. It becomes more complicated. Trump gets involved. I just think it's cleaner and simpler, and Paramount is very aggressive now. I just feel like they're not done. They turned down the third bid. I think the fourth one is going to come in. I think the fourth one is going to be too high for them to ignore. That'll be that. But we'll see. Maybe David Zaslav will hold off even longer. I just feel like it's a gamble. I feel like it might be a waste of time to do that. Yeah, their movies did do well this year. That's why they want to sell it. You're right, Will. Did well, but that's why they want to sell it now. It's not sustainable. The entire reason why Zaslav came aboard was to sell the company. That's why he's here. Going to strike now with the iron's hot. I think it'll be sold before the split. I honestly think so. I honestly think it'll be sold before the split. They can try to wait out for Netflix. They can try to entice Apple. They can try. But I just think Paramount is so aggressive. They're going to match whoever puts in the biggest bid, they're just going to match it, I think. They're super aggressive. They're not going to lose it. When this man, okay, Larry Ellison, the Ellisons want something, they're probably going to get it. Okay, so Paramount, I'd be surprised if they allowed anyone other than Paramount to buy this. I'd be surprised. So, AEW, good luck. I think it's going to be a problem no matter where. No matter how this goes, whether it's Paramount, Netflix, whatever, things are going to be a problem. Things are going to be a problem. All they really want is the IP. That's all they want. They want the film and TV IP and assets. They don't care about those channels. Since they don't care about those channels, TV deal, the future is not bright for that TV deal. That makes sense? This is what they want. This is what they want. The IP that you will see on HBO Max, what they want. They can put it on their own streaming service, or to take HBO Max and keep it as is. But ultimately, especially Netflix will ultimately merge all the HBO content onto Netflix service. That's what they're gonna do. Same thing Disney did. Disney bought all of Hulu, right? Now you can go to Disney Plus, and Hulu's there, right, on Disney Plus. There's no more Hulu. They phased out Hulu, right? That's what happened to HBO Max if Netflix bought Warner Brothers. They phase out HBO Max, and it'll just be in Netflix. That's all it'll be. So, Tony Khan, good luck, my guy. I think you're fucked. I don't want to be a doomer, but I don't think AEW is going to last on TV after the current deal is over. I agree. That's where I'm at as well, Rizar. I think once this deal is over, no matter who buys it, whether it's Netflix or Paramount, I think it's done. Because of Paramount's relationship with TKO and because of Netflix's desire to be off of linear TV. They're not interested in it at all. And because they have a relationship with WWE, I think their best bet, maybe Amazon Prime. Maybe Amazon has some sympathy for them and they end up on Amazon Prime. But ultimately on TV, I'm not seeing it. Unless I'm missing something. Fox, no. NBC, no. CW, no. ABC, no. Yeah. I don't see it. It's gonna be rough. They may just be on YouTube or maybe on streaming. Somewhere on streaming. Maybe Apple or Amazon would have some sympathy for them, but we don't know how Apple feels about wrestling or Amazon. So, yeah, that'd be their best bet. That'd be their best bet. So that's my take on AEW and the Warner Brothers situation. Hopefully it all works out for them. I don't wish anything bad on AEW, so hopefully it all works out for them. But rough. It's rough. AEW got a lot better roster than WWE. Did you saw the Battle Royal on Monday? Raw is mid. AEW has a better roster in what respect? I mean, I beg to differ. Correct. The WWE does have a bland split. In the women's division, shit's all over AEW's women's division. So I beg to differ. I don't think they have a better roster. It depends on what you want to see. They have a better male roster. Better in terms of what? The in-ring? What I like about the WWE's roster, there's different types of people in terms of builds and work rate. I feel like AEW's roster has a lot of samies, but that means a lot of people move and act the same in the ring. So nobody's really special because there's a lot of people who do the same shit, you know? But I get your point. If you're saying that the work rate of the men division and the way they move and the way they perform is better than the men in WWE at the top, sure. guess it depends what you mean. Because some people will say, okay, wrestling, pro wrestling, character work, promos, stuff like that is important for some people. So it depends on what you want to watch. Depends on what you value in the ring. What's your guess on how much AEW's budget is dependent on a media deal? Well, they're not making any money without a TV deal, right? They are operating in the negative. Their budget. Well, here's the thing: Tony Khan, Nick, and his father are well off. So they'll be, long as they have that much money in the bank, they'll be fine, right? They can support AEW for a while, I think, because of his father. They'll be fine. The lights will stay on because Tony Khan's father is a billionaire, so they're not gonna it's not gonna go out of business. The company will stay afloat even without the TV deal. But without the TV deal, it's all coming out of their pockets. So that's the fortunate thing. It's a money loser without the TV deal. Could you plug a mid-card guy in for AWW? Let me read that again. Could you plug a mid-card guy in for AEW? WWE, it would be more difficult. Fix that sentence, King. Fix that sentence. What are you talking about? Breaking. Liv Morgan will return in the ring following her shoulder injury early 2026. That's not news. I thought we all assumed it'd be early 2026 or late 2025. Okay. Goldberg shitting on Asuka. That's old news. The Liv return at the Rumble, probably. Probably. Damn, Piper Niven has an injured neck. That sucks. All caps. Okay. You could easily plug in a mid card for AW in the mid card scene, like in a world title match. Meanwhile, WWE wouldn't do that. They would use the same top guys. I see what you're saying. But the top guys are making them money. I don't know how much the AW dudes are generating clicks or generating money. I don't know. They feel kind of samey. A lot of samey guys, if you ask me. What would be the reason why for sore injury to be a work? Are we gonna go there? So, Ruka's injury is fake. Not actually injured. I'll say it again. Ruka is not actually injured. Those top guys aren't going to be there forever. I agree. You're preaching to the choir. If it were up to me, the WWE would be more of a youth movement, but they're selling out right now. I can't tell Triple H he's wrong. I can't say you're wrong, considering the crowd reaction, considering they're selling out stadiums and arenas. Not stadiums, arenas. I can't say you're wrong for what you're doing. I personally want to see the younger talent flourish, but that's not what Triple H wants to do. But yeah, Sol Ruka is not actually injured. I think it's quite obvious. When I went back and watched the match she had on SmackDown, it was clear. Now, I will admit, I didn't watch the match closely when it first happened. So a lot of people were wondering, where's the injury? Like, where is this woman's injury? Did she get injured here? Did she get injured here? Reason why you couldn't find it, because she wasn't actually injured. Okay, she was not injured. Let me pull up this match real quick. Let's see. Here we go. Where is part 2? This is entirely story driven, okay? So Ruka had a match on SmackDown where Charlotte Flair went after her leg. Intentionally went after her leg to set up an injury angle. Now, people thought the injury was real for some reason. Because now that I'm watching it back, I don't see where she got injured. So here's the thing. So, build the screen here to see. Okay, cool. I'm going to skip through it. Does a backflip here. Okay. Does a backflip, lands on her feet, shows no sign of injury whatsoever. She continues over to the spot. He walks over to Blake Monroe because it's a planned spot. She walks over perfectly fine. Charlotte Flair attacks her left knee. Bang. People thought, oh my God, Charlotte Flair must have went too hard because she got a real injury. No. Okay? Incorrect. This is a part of the angle they're setting up. Do you honestly think? Imagine the coincidence. In a match where Charlotte Flair is attacking the knee, Ruka gets an actual knee injury? No. So Charlotte Flair attacks her knee, set up the angle. Blake Monroe shows no condescending. She's happy it happened, right? Charlotte Flair takes Ruka, puts her in the ring, immediately slaps on the figure 4. Okay? Moves to figure 8, and she taps. She does with a big fat smile on her face, okay? And then Ruka is shown to be holding her knee. People say, oh my God, she's actually injured. She's injured. She's hurt. No, she's not. Okay? She's not injured. This is all a part of the angle. She didn't show signs of being hurt until after the match, after Charlotte Flair put her in the figure 8, after she hit her knee. Okay? Then you see her in the ring showing signs of an injury. No medical team, no worry about her injury, nothing, right? Zarya looking at her knee that Charlotte Flair attacked. Then, later on, you see Zarya. Let me find this thing. Where is it? Then you find a video shot by the WWE of Zarya and Alexa Bliss carrying the injured superstar to the back. Not medical team, not the medical. Zarya and Alexa fucking Bliss. Let me tell you something right now. If medical sat back and watched an injured superstar get carried to the back by the talent, they should all be fired. Okay? The reason why they did this is because it's an angle. Okay? It's a staged angle set up NXT later on. Okay? There's not a real injury. None of this makes sense. Okay? Because it's not a real injury. Let's move to NXT. Okay? On NXT, they had this very dramatic, dramatized moment between Soul and Zarya when she's like, hey, are you sure about this? Yeah, I'm sure. This is the moment I said, wait a minute, something's up. I even said it here. They are really dramatizing this. Everything about how this was set up was fishy to me, but I didn't pay it any mind. Okay, let's see what happens. Then we get to the ring, and at that point, I'm like, okay, this is clearly a setup. This is clearly staged. Let me see. Where is my The dialogue, it felt very like none of this felt real injury. It all felt story driven, staged, and it was. And it was. That was the whole point of this, okay? Sol Ruca is not actually injured. Zarya says, we don't know how long it'll take you to come back. It could be months. It could be weeks. Like, weeks? What? You watch the SmackDown match. If you watch the dialogue here, it is clear and obvious this woman is not actually injured. Okay? I repeat. The only time this woman could have got injured during the match was during these staged attacks from Charlotte Flair. She was completely fine until Charlotte Flair hit the knee and hit the figure 8. She's not actually injured, okay? What are they doing here? We have to see. Zarya is going to be facing Blake Monroe for the title. Will Zarya lose, and it'll be her fault she dropped the belt? Will she attack Sol Ruca after the match? Something's going to go down. But ultimately, I'm telling you, Sol Ruca is not injured. For the love of God. Well, let them cook, Richard. Let them cook. It's a story. I'm injured. I can't defend my belt. Maybe they don't want Zarya. Maybe they don't want Sol Ruca taking a pin. Maybe Blake Monroe will beat Zarya. And then we have Sol Ruca as champion. Or we have Blake Monroe champion. Or Zarya wins. And then Zarya wants to keep the belt. Or Sol Ruca's like, okay, give me my belt back. It's like, no. There's ways you can go. It's a story, okay? It's all in the execution. But I'm telling you, this woman is not injured. I promise you, just go back and watch SmackDown. Go back and watch the match. She was perfectly fine before Charlotte Flair hit her in the knee, okay? It's staged. She's not hurt. Any medical team that would sit back and watch the talent carry themselves to the back should be fired. Reason why the camera was on them, showing them go the entire way. Let me show you this again. Let me show you this again. For the love of God. Look at this. Look. Look at the camera. Look at the camera. Look at the camera. This woman is not hurt. Come on. The camera following them all the way to the back. There's a real injury, and medical team sat back and watched them carry this injured woman all the way to the back. The camera zoomed in on her. Folks, this is a staged angle. Sol Ruca is not injured. Whole entire time, I'm injured. I'm not medically cleared. What's the injury? They won't tell you the actual injury because there is no injury. They didn't say MCL strain. They didn't say something that can be back. Well, she said it could be a few weeks. First of all, time out. Something ain't mathin'. Why in the hell would Sol Ruca have to relinquish her belt if Zarya herself said it could be a couple months? It could be some weeks. If it could be weeks, why the hell are you talking about relinquishing your title? It makes no sense, okay? The reason why it makes no sense is because it's a staged angle. The woman is not hurt. The amount of people who are in my mentions saying, "Oh, she's clearly injured," you guys are lost. You're lost. She's not hurt, okay? She's not hurt. If the WWE calls up a woman tomorrow, who do you think Triple H takes? Lola Vice? Probably Lola Vice. Or Jordynne Grace. But probably not Jordynne Grace, because Jordynne Grace is more, I think she's in line for a belt down there. But probably Lola Vice. Because she's been working AAA. She has a relationship with Priest. You can use that with the angle that Priest currently has against Aleister Black. So yeah. Oh, and Last Legend, she's doing nothing down there. It's weird what's happening with her. But yeah, Sol Ruka's not injured, man. Not hurt. I commend them for fooling so many people. So many people are actually fooled, so credit to them, but that woman is not hurt, I'm telling you. Okay? It could take a few weeks. Okay. What is the future of Lyra Valkyria? Any chance of a heel turn? I think her story is with Bayley. I think Bayley may influence her a little bit. I don't see a heel turn yet. Right now, it's very much a. Right now, she's very much trying to understand what's going on with Bayley. Doesn't have her figured out. Bayley's being very annoying to her right now. I think that's the conflict right now. The dynamic between her and Bayley is still going. I don't see a heel turn for her anytime soon. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Sean is awful. He only books his favorites like Carmen, Thea, and Lash. Oh, what is Carmen and Thea Lash doing? Yeah, I don't know. Thea Hale's a weird one. She's in Evolve right now. She's young, but I would have thought she would have been pushed in the at least in the North American title picture, but she's not. She's kind of like, what? Here's the thing. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes. We don't know what's happening behind the scenes, so it's hard to judge what's going on, but Thea Hale's a weird one. Lash should have been called up by now. Carmen, let's just say I'm worried about Carmen Petrovic. I won't say anything else, but I'm worried about her. I doubt the pairing Priest and Lola. Yeah, probably not. But not married yet, so. But you can make a storyline. You make a story driven that she shows up to confront. It doesn't have to be, oh, I'm here to defend my man. They could make it so maybe Zelina Vega goes down to NXT for a second, pisses her off, and causes her to come up. Or maybe Zelina Vega keeps attacking Priest, and Priest just so happens to get assisted by Lola Vice later on. It doesn't have to be, oh, we're in a relationship, therefore you help me. It could just be, hey, we're friends, or hey, I need a partner, and you do it that way. It doesn't have to be a romantic thing. It doesn't have to be AJ and Punk again. It could be something else. I'm worried about Carmen Petrovic. What does Santos do on Raw? Get booked. How? I don't know, but he's gonna get booked for sure. But they're invested in him now because they're paying him now a good amount of money. We'll see how he's used, but I have no idea. I think Carmen's gonna get cut. I think she's in danger of getting cut. I hope I'm wrong. It did kind of hurt some of the women when Julia, Zarya, and Stephanie and Jordan Grace showed up in NXT. They took spots for sure. You hear the Andrade news? Yeah, I saw that. Apparently, WWE are trying to get him back in the fold. That's hilarious. That'd be hilarious for AEW. Hilarious for them. Let me see if I can see the actual PW Insider report here. I trust Luigi Wrestling. Let's see. The belief within various wrestling circles in Mexico is that the WWE is trying to use Andrade's one-year non-compete to bring him back. No one in The WWE has confirmed this, but that's what's being discussed in some close-knit circles in Mexico. Andrade continues to be advertised for indie shows. Well, that's hilarious. If Andrade pops up on SmackDown, that would be hilarious. That'd be so funny. Jade, they haven't mentioned her in weeks. Well, she's hurt. One, she has stitching in her face that needs to heal up. But you're right, they've not mentioned her much at all. She'll be fine. Do I see a 3-team war games this year? No. It's going to be the Wyatt 6 versus MFT. You're going to have to deal with that. Like it. Love it. MFT versus Wyatt 6 versus Sammy's team. Who's on Sammy's team? That feels kind of weird. Feels like they have it because of the horror house shit. As long as there's other matches on the card that's good, I'm fine with it, honestly. I don't need to have another men's war games. I don't need to see it. I don't have to see it. By that I mean one that has a bunch of bloodline shit or bunch of shit like that. I don't need to see it. I don't need to see that. Not this year. Maybe next year, but not this year. Mello, Sammy, Shinsuke, Phoenix, Ilya. They could do that. But then what is the Wyatt 6 doing? Right now they're building up Wyatt 6 versus MFT. That's the build right now. That's the hype, right? That's what they're hyping up. And remember, War Games is in about a month. AEW deserves to be censored, canceled, and kicked off of Warner Brother networks. I miss traditional 5-on-5. Those are fine, but if Wyatt 6 versus MFT is the War Games match, it won't main event. Correct. The women might, or they have some other match that might main event. Maybe Punk or Roman or whatever. Cena versus Dom main events probably. Or the women. Rhea, Asuka. By the way, this weekend I'll be doing my War Game stream where I break down who will be on the team. Yeah. I think the women will be more interesting this year and more important. I do believe Raw women will get War Games, which typically means SmackDown men's team will get War Games. So we'll see. Somebody has to stop this. Someone must stop the Tiffy Express. You passed Io. You're on her way to Becky. And then, God forbid, reaches Bianca. The Tiffy train must be stopped. Why doesn't AEW elevate Athena as championship material instead of Ring of Honor? That's a damn good question. Athena is the best wrestler in that entire promotion. I repeat, Athena is the best wrestler in that entire promotion for the women. Why they have her on Ring of Honor? No clue. Why is she teaming up with Mercedes Moné in a tag team tournament? No clue. I think her booking is weird and not great. Also, why is Athena? Yeah, that's what I just said, King. Yeah, I don't know why. I didn't watch AEW last night. Maybe I need to watch it, but it doesn't make sense to me. But whatever. I don't know why that's happening. Spoiler alert: the final will be Athena and Mercedes against Toni Storm and Mina Shirakawa. The shit is predictable. Probably gonna have Mina and Toni Storm win the tag titles. Because shit is predictable. Well, sorry for Megan Bayne. Megan Bayne has been teaming up with Penelope Ford for months. Is she going to get a tag team gold out of that? I don't think so. So, yeah. Chris hates AEW. Jey Uso sucks. Not my favorite. People want Julia to be a double champion, and that somehow feels like even more of a step back for Tiffany, I guess. From Tiffany. Don't worry about that. It's not happening. Julia will not be a double champion. This is a filler feud. Tiffany versus Julia is a filler feud. They're waiting it out. What are they waiting for? Maybe they told Bianca Belair. Maybe Bianca Belair told them, hey, I'll be ready in a month or something. I don't know. But it's a filler feud, so no worries there. There'll be no double champion on SmackDown. That's not happening. I think Tiffany will probably beat Julia. But yeah, it's filler, so. It's filler. Julia feels like more of a threat than Nia Jax right now. Yeah, because Nia Jax is being reused over and over again. And there's no real threat of a change there. Julia feels fresh and new to the picture. But yeah, there'll be no double champ Julia. That's not happening. That's not happening. Oh, somebody's here to tell me what happened. Okay, cool. Let's see. Why is this tag team happening? Let's see. Not that. Click here. Athena showed up and offered to form a super team, and Monet agreed. Because she's chasing belts. Then Athena dragged her away from minion trading. It kind of ruled. They play well off one another. But they had beef. So I mean, it kind of ruled. Like, what? Okay, whatever. But I said, hey, want to be tag champions? Sure, I want another belt. Okay, Minion, come on. I'm sure the interaction will be good because they have good chemistry. But story reason, kind of weak. Correct. Agreed. It's a good tag team. The reason why the tag team is happening is weird. Had Nia Jax become a jobber, as long as she's in the title picture, yes, because they're not taking a belt off of Tiffany anytime soon. So right now she's a jobber for Tiffany. Megan Bayne could be NXT World Champion. I agree. She'd be very, very well pushed on NXT, but she's working with Penelope Ford. Is she even in the tag team tournament? Let me see. AEW women's tag team. I'm just going to Google some random thing on Twitter, see if it pops up. I don't know. Let's see the tournament. Here it is. Boom, found it. Yeah, but she's there. Bayne and Ford. They'll beat Todd J. It'll be Bayne and Ford against Mina and Toni. Then there's going to be Athena and Monet advancing. Going to have probably the Sisters of Sin advance. Well, no. It'll be Jamie Hayter and the Queen. So face versus heel there. Monet and Athena advance to the finals. Mina and Toni advance to the finals. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. Yeah. Oh boy, Megan Bayne's booking, man. Wow. She should be challenging for the title right now. Sorry. Freaking Megan Bayne. Am I doing a stream for this? By that I mean, am I Am I doing a breakdown stream for Grand Destiny? Let's see. The show is on Sunday. Yes, it is. I don't know. It may be too late to do like a preview stream, prediction stream. It's already Thursday. Tomorrow, SmackDown. Then it's gonna be Saturday morning. We'll see. Why do you think Sari's title reign ended so quickly? That's a damn good question. I don't know. Probably because they want to run Shuri versus Saya at the biggest show of the year. I don't know. At Dream Queendom. I'm not sure why they did that. Maybe at Dream Queendom 2025 they do Shuri versus Saya. They could have did Shuri versus Saya there, but maybe they want someone who's actually signed because Shuri is not a she's a freelancer. Maybe they didn't want a freelancer on that card, so they put Shuri there. Probably the reason. Unfortunately, Momo Watanabe, the 5-star GP winner, she's gonna lose to Saya, on the 3rd of November. Then you're probably gonna get Shuri versus Saya. You're gonna have red belt on the line, the strong belt on the line, the IWGP belt on the line. Saya's gonna win. You have 3 belt Saya. Crazy. What's happening with Saya Kamitani is huge, man. She's mainstream over there right now. She's so popular. There's never been somebody who's been elevated so much in Japan as she has. She's breaking records. She's doing new things. She is becoming mainstream over there. She is very, very popular. They're only getting popular. And I think they're going to benefit from that and just push it even farther. So she's getting a lot of screen time on TV, on cable networks. She's getting a lot of publicity, a lot of attention. And they're going to ride the Saya train. So they're probably going to just push her as hard as they can go and see how much they can take it with her. Because right now she's hot over there. She's doing a lot of cool stuff for the first time. A lot of attention, a lot of press. So you saw Mercedes got 12 belts. I saw that. I didn't see the celebration, no. I didn't see AEW, so I don't know when the celebration was. Messiah's living it up right now. Now, I'd argue that the storytelling over there is not great. Right now, it's not about telling stories. It's about elevating Saya Kamitani. I feel like. She has her eyes set on Wrestle Kingdom and Dream Queendom. Good for her. Very good wrestler. I'm a fan. I'm not about to start hating on this woman. I'm not. Some people might start hating on her. I just can't. She's too talented. She's too likable. She's good at what she does. I can't hate. I just can't. Having a good old time with all the press she's getting. Can't hate on Saya Kamitani. I just can't. Good for her. Enjoy it, my dear. She's earned it. What is the women's War Games team? I'll tell you later. I can see Jade as Kiana's new client. That'd be cool. If Julia moves on, that'd be cool to see. That makes sense. I wouldn't hate it. All right, let's wrap up this stream. Any last questions about anything before we wrap it up here? Yana kicks Julia to the curb, and then Julia becomes a babyface? Or does Julia kick her to the curb? Not seeing anything else, really. Roll up to my question. Let's see. Is Julia still back in Japan? She was, as of yesterday. Probably not because of SmackDown? I don't know. She was earlier this week. Might be back now. That's cool. She has a copy of her face on the magazine with the US Championship from WWE. That's cool. Let's see. She back now? No indicators anywhere. Let me stop scrolling for some type of weird shit pops up. You never know with Twitter. But yeah, I'm not sure. She's probably back by now. Because she's probably scheduled for SmackDown. So yeah, I'd say yeah. That'd be my guess. I don't know. What's next for Dakota Kai? Who cares? Just kidding. She'll probably be on AEW TV soon enough. She'll be in Ring of Honor soon enough. That'd be my guess. Ring of Honor. Or maybe she does the indies or some Japan shows. I don't know. Because if she was there, I could see them using the Tiffany and Kiana James match to bring her into as a new client. Does Kyrie cost EO in Japan? No. No. That's a damn good question. What's going to happen, though? I think Mario Grand Destiny selling out. $1,000 tickets. Shit. Those are expensive. Sold out, though. Good for them. Selling well. And people said they weren't marketing it enough. The complaint was they weren't marketing it well enough, but it looks like they're selling well. Cool. Who's gonna win that match? I will say this: EO won't lose. That I'm sure of. Could it be a draw? Could EO pin her? Sure. EO won't lose. That I will say for certain. So, draw or she wins, but nobody's pinning EO in Mario Gold. That's not happening. Not gonna pin a WWE superstar. That's not happening. Koki Amare stays hurt, by the way. Who is the mystery M? No idea. Mystery S3, I'd be surprised. I'd be surprised if that was the case. Probably what's her face? What's her name? Got injured. Got injured a while ago. And then maybe she might be coming back. Let me see. Maki Ito, nah. That'd be hilarious. That'd be hilarious, but no. That'd be hilarious. That'd be so funny if that was the case. What's her name? Oh, Natsumi Shozuki. She got injured before, so now she might be back. That might be the S Shozuki. So it'd be cool to see Natsumi's back, but that might be her. I don't know about that. But for the M's, I don't know. I don't know what that is for the M. I don't know. I don't know who that could be. Not Mirai, because she just left. Not Maki Ito either. That'd be funny as hell. I don't know who it could be. I'm gonna guess Natsumi Shozuki for the S, and the M, I have no idea. Britt Baker, she should leave. They should let her go. Free her. She will not be back on TV ever again for AEW. She's done. She's done. That much I'm sure of, but they don't want to let her go, so she'll be there till her contract ends. Same situation as Ricky Starks. Ricky Starks never popped up on AEW television again. It'd be the same thing for Britt Baker. He will never pop up on Ring of Honor or Dynamite or Collision. It's a wrap. She's done. She's done. She's waiting for her contract to be over. Okay. That's it for the stream. This weekend, I'm doing my War Games stream, where I break down the teams for War Games. Let's see what else is happening. I might do a stream for... Might be too late, though. Because if I do a breakdown for the Mario Gold show on Saturday, just 24 hours before the show starts, the actual show starts, so probably. Who's winning the matches at the next NXT pay-per-view? That's not for... When's that happening? That's not until like NXT Halloween Havoc 2025. Let's see. Shit. What? Halloween Havoc is in 2 days. Whoops. Damn, that snuck up on me. Tuesday was the go home, huh? Wow. I would have thought it was gonna be the week after this weekend. JC Dane retains. I love Tatum and I love JC, so I don't hate it, but he retains. The Broken Hardys win. Ricky Stanks wins. Ethan Page wins. Blake Monroe wins. Javon Evans, Leon Slater win. That's my guess. But that's crazy, man. It's in 2 days. We have Halloween Havoc and Mario Gold Grand Destiny coming up this weekend. Wow. Wow. Okay. Good to know. Good to know. All right, folks. That's it for the stream. Do me a favor. Hit like. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Enjoy wrestling this weekend. Apparently, there's a NXT pay-per-view or PLE. I did not know. What the hell is this? What the hell is this? What the hell? That's Tatum. It's creepy. The culling. Interesting. On that note, I'm out of here. Peace out, guys. Enjoy the wrestling. Enjoy your lives. Hope all is well. See you this weekend. Peace.